In the kitchen now with Chef Matt Winters from the Mark and Festival Foods. Good morning, good to see you.
Morning. Good to be here.
Yeah, congratulations. You guys are now in the Howard Swamico. You're over in that area doing some catering too.
Yep.
The Mark.
Lineville Road.
Yeah, so very cool. I think actually I got an event out there coming up. So what are we making today?
We're going to do a salmon pot pie.
Ooh, I hear and I read about, and I see on the menu at a lot of restaurants, it's very, very in to, you know, like lobster pot pie, some of these fancier pot pies, taking mom's chicken pot pie to like a whole nother level.
They're getting very, very big. It's that comfort, the whole comfort food thing. It just, they're awesome.
And an individual. I mean, you certainly can do this in like one big, you know, regular size pie, but you know, at these restaurants, and it's very on trend to everybody get their own pot pie. You know, it's just kind of fun. Yeah.
Which is what we're going to do this morning.
Cool,
so
awesome.
We're going to start with a muffin tin.
All right. So one of these jumbo muffin tins is so it's going to, you know, you don't just have to use them for muffins, basically, right?
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah, trying to get out of the box a little bit.
I love it. So we're going to start with some butter, like most pot pies do. So a few tablespoons. Is that enough?
Oh yeah, that's plenty.
Okay.
Just a little bit. You don't need a lot.
Okay.
Just so the vegetables don't stick.
Okay.
Help them brown a little bit.
And you've chopped up here. What do you have?
We have a mirepoix, which is just your carrot, celery, and onion.
Okay. So in all of them?
Yep. Throw that all in there.
Okay.
You got to have the good vegetables, and you can add more vegetables if you want. You could throw whatever. You know, you need the carrot, celery, onion as the base. You could add potato. You could add parsnip. Kind of whatever your taste turns to.
But with the salmon, I'm thinking that you really want that to be more the star of the show. So like the corn and green beans, I think that is in the peas more with the chicken or the beef. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Which is why this recipe doesn't have that.
Okay. So let this cook a little bit.
Yep. We're making what I call the pot pie filling.
Okay.
And that's going to contain that, and then our salmon. You can use fresh. You can use canned. You can use frozen. For this one, we're using canned, just for the convenience of it.
Keeping it simple.
Yep. When
you're looking for that, I know I'm just going to get a little salt and pepper. Here it is. You don't get the kind with the bones, though, right?
Right.
That's a little bit harder to work with.
A little.
The bones and the skin, you know.
Yeah.
So,
you want the one that doesn't have that. So.
Okay. So and it also comes in like a pouch, which really is easy. You don't even have to drain that.
I like the pouches.
Yeah.
Those are so convenient.
Yeah, I agree. So all right, just seasoning up our veggies, and at home, let them hang out for what, 5 minutes or so to get them a little soft.
5 minutes or so. Let them get a little soft. They don't need to brown.
Okay.
You really want to just get them sweet. So if you catch it before it browns, that onion, the sweetness of the onion comes through a little bit.
Pie crust. What kind of pie crust? And show us how to get that into the tin.
This is a pre-made frozen pie crust, which you can just get in the freezer section. There's all different sizes, shapes, whatever.
Okay.
And we just get a muffin cup.
Okay.
You know, these are the jumbos.
So the liners, like just the liner.
Right.
Liners.
This is what's called a 6-inch muffin cup.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll put that in, and it's just as simple as putting a bottom crust in. I like to kind of pinch it from the four corners just to make it drop.
Okay.
And then open it up, push it down in, and then that's ready to receive the filling.
So just cut it into, because you normally they're like this, so just kind of cut it into the size that you know.
Right. If you get the bigger sheets, then just cut it down.
Okay.
You know, you can eyeball it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, just something that will fit that size.
And overlap a little bit. Obviously, bigger is better.
It's going to come up a little bit here, and it's a Teflon pan, so it's not going to stick.
Okay.
And then once the filling is done,
I want to do one of these. I want to try it.
Yeah, it's very, very simple.
Okay. So just kind of pinch the edges.
Fold it in half. And
okay.
Then
Oh, okay. That's
Yep,
easy.
There you go.
And into our cup it goes. I mean, I was thinking this would be very impressive for like a dinner party or something, you know?
Well, it really kicks it up. You know, it makes it look sharp. It looks like you put a lot of effort and a lot of work into it, but you really didn't.
Cool. I like that. All right, so our veggies are doing good here, starting to get a little soft. What next?
Salmon goes in.
Okay.
And out of the can, it's already cooked, so you don't really need to cook it anymore, so you can actually go immediately with your soup base.
Okay. If you don't like salmon, tuna? Would tuna work okay?
Tuna works very, very well.
Okay.
Any kind of firm seafood is great.
Okay.
You can do shrimp. The lobster is really nice.
Yeah. Ooh.
I've done scallop. The shrimp turns out really nice.
I bet. So basically, you can take the same recipe and just use whatever seafood you want.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
This looks like my favorite, huh?
Yep. You can use either a cream of celery, cream of mushroom, any kind of a cream soup base that you like.
I love my cream of mushroom. As you said, some people just don't do cream of mushroom, so cream of celery kind of has a mild flavor.
And then I usually like to put just a little pinch of fresh dill in with the salmon.
Goes really nice. I love.
It kind of accents it real well.
More soup, or are we save it a
No,
little
that
more?
looks great. You want to keep it nice and thick.
Okay.
Once it warms a little, you'll add some half and half. Now, I used a half and half instead of a milk, just so I like that little extra richness, but I don't want all the fat of a heavy cream.
Okay, got it. This is easy, Matt.
Very, very simple.
You know what I was thinking too? Sometimes you go out to a restaurant and you get like a seafood dinner and you've got a little bit of lobster tail left and a little bit of shrimp, and and it's like, oh, it's a shame to leave it here. I'll bring it home. What are you going to do with it? Well, perfect to use it in something like this.
The perfect way to use it as a leftover.
Yeah.
Now, if you say you accidentally make too much of the filling, it freezes great.
Oh, really?
Put it into a sandwich bag, seal it up, throw it in your freezer.
Make pot pies another time.
Make it in whenever. You come home with your leftovers, thaw out your filling, add the meat, you're ready to go.
Love it. Okay, so this now looks like we're set here.
Yep, that's ready to go into the crust.
Do you need to let it cool before it goes in there?
No,
No?
you don't.
Okay.
You can go in cold, you can go in hot.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of it. It's hard to mess this one up.
It smells fantastic. Is that about the amount of filling?
Yep, that looks good. Kind of level with the top of the pan.
Okay. Okay, now I want to see what you do with the top crust.
Okay, so for our top crust, we'll just take another piece. And it's just as simple as laying it on top, and then just crimp it just like you're going to do a pie.
Okay.
You could use a fork, you could use your fingers, whichever you prefer.
Oven temperature for this, Matt?
350.
Okay.
It's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes, and then I just come around here with a knife.
And I'm loving this for a dinner party because I think you could get all this, prepped in your fridge and just bake it off right before people get there.
Yeah, these can be done in advance. You can even take the baked pie, freeze it, and thaw it in the microwave and reheat them.
Wow, wow.
So it's very,
Love
very
that.
versatile.
Little egg wash on top?
Little egg wash on top, and that's just a combination of egg and milk.
And then we have a finished one right over there. These look fantastic. And of course, the best part about pot pie, you dig into it and it all runs out all over the plate. And ooh, nothing better. Yum.
Once that comes out, this is what it looks like.
That is gorgeous. Ooh, how fun is that? Pops right out of there real easy?
Pops out very, very easily. The paper will stick to the bottom like that, but that peels off that easy.
Matt, I love it. Salmon pot pies. You can get the recipe on our website. Matt's going to stick around and do another seafood recipe coming up, so stay with us.